Let's solve this second degree equation, m squared plus 4m plus 9 equals 0, using the quadratic formula. Okay, step 1, let's compare this to the standard form of am squared plus bm plus c equals 0 and see that a is 1, b is 4, and c is 9. Step 2, write down the quadratic formula for m. It equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2 times a. Now put parentheses in place of the a, b's, and c's, and then carefully plug in the values for a, b, and c. Okay, so there's a 4, 4, there's a 1, 1, and a 9. Now simplify to solve for m. Under the radical, we have 16 minus 36, and that gives us a negative number under the radical, negative 20. That used to be a problem for us. That's not a problem anymore. We can figure out what the square root of a negative number is. We have to always first factor out the square root of negative 1, which is I. So we wrote negative 4 plus or minus the square root of negative 1, and then we'll also factor out the square root of 4, and that leaves the square root of 5. Okay, so let's slow down a little bit. We replace the square root of negative 1 with I. Then we replace the square root of 4 with 2. We busted the square root of 4 out because it's a perfect square. And then we left the square root of 5 in the back as a factor, all over 2. Now we want to factor and cancel. Don't feel tempted to cancel that 2 downstairs with the 2 upstairs. See, the 2 upstairs is not a factor of the entire top. There are 2 terms on top, separated by the plus and minus sign. You do not cancel factors of one of the terms when there's 2 terms with a factor on the entire bottom. You have to factor a common factor out of the entire top, and then it's a candidate to cancel with a factor on the entire bottom. So at this point, we're ready to factor first and then cancel common factors. So out of the top, we pull out a common factor of 2 from the 2 terms. It leaves parenthesis negative 2 plus or minus I square root of 5. And it cancels with the 2 downstairs, and our answer is negative 2 plus or minus I times the square root of 5. Sometimes the book writes this as negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 5 times I. Sometimes I do it one way, sometimes I do it the other way. Either way is okay with me. You do know normally A plus BI form has the I in the back, but like I say, sometimes they're afraid that you're going to think the I is not under the radical when it's really not. But all you have to do is, like I did in the last solution here, negative 2 plus or minus the square root of I. Just bring that hook down at the end of the square root symbol so you'll know that the I is not under.